Greetings Exiles and welcome to one of the most requested videos on this channel to date, and that is my low life Righteous Fire build update. That's one of those builds that I have always hesitated to recommend to other people, mostly because the live version already offers similar damage and decent survivability for less than half the cost of this build. However, if you are into playing Path of Exile with your eyes closed, then this is the right version of Righteous Fire for you. But before that, I should say that if you are one of those people who have lots of currency piled up in standard, then I do highly recommend you to try this build there first before attempting to recreate it in any league. That's mainly due to how annoying and expensive its items are, and thus generally you would want to try and see how difficult it would be for you to put it together first before attempting to try it in a real Path of Exile environment, which is League. But with that being said, now we can start with the Ascendancy. We are a Hierophant, mainly because Guardian sucks. Thanks GGG. But first we begin with Conviction of Power. We take this node mostly for its free endurance charges. Power charges can be good while leveling, but they won't end up that useful after you transition from whatever leveling build you have into Righteous Fire. Next we go for Divine Guidance. This node provides some mana, as well as a small damage boost alongside it. However, we mainly take it to unlock the node behind it, and that node is Sanctuary of Thought. The 20% energy shield gain from our mana is the equivalent of 3000 raw energy shield for us in this version. Also, the 10% less reservation of skills is crucial to run our specific aura setup. The 50% less mana cost of skills is also important for one complicated mechanic that I have incorporated into this build, which we will get to in a later segment of this video. Last but not least, we have Arcane Blessing. This node is only useful for Scorching Ray, since Arcane Surge does not affect Righteous Fire damage in any way, shape or form. However, if you manage to farm the 15% increased area of effect built enchantment, then your Righteous Fire will greatly benefit from Arcane Surge. But anyway, with that we are basically done with the Ascendancy. What about our passive tree? Here is what your average passive tree should look like. This build is very passive point hungry, so I wouldn't recommend you to switch from whatever build you are playing into it until you are at least level 92 or higher. This tree also includes two large cluster jewel setups. Each jewel adds the minimum amount of passives, that alongside some strong notables like Widespread Destruction and Burning Bright. We are not going to extend and take the outer notable node. That's in order to save some passive points in the process. Anyway, from here, we branch off to two medium cluster jewels. Each one has Burning Bright and Vile Reinvigoration. And with that being said, we are basically done with our passive tree. Now let's talk about some items. At the start, it's obvious that you cannot play low life builds without Shav's chest piece. This item is mandatory to protect whatever amount of life you have left from getting one-shotted by chaos damage. Chaos damage inherently bypasses energy shield, and this chest will prevent it from doing so. Pretty straightforward. Next we have Memory Vault. This unique helm will give you lots of energy shield and mana. It will also grant you armor equal to your reserved mana, while increasing your mana reserve by 10%. We have around 4000 reserved mana in this build. Now if you are looking to upgrade your helm into an expensive mirror tier rare item, don't. Instead, just buy the same helm with life regeneration corruption implicit, like what I have done over here. Next for our weapon, we have a scepter with tier 1 fire dot multi, crafted fire damage, and some mana. Ideally you would want that mana roll to be intelligence instead, because that's a way more efficient way to get even more energy shield. However, since I wasn't lucky at hitting that, I decided to utilize the last empty suffix I have by adding Aspect of the Spider. That's mainly because I didn't have any space left in this build for adding it on any other item, so it ended up being fine for me. Just don't forget to craft the Trigger a Sacred spell when you use a skill craft, because that's required to trigger Stormbrand, which is socketed inside your weapon, to trigger both Elemental Equilibrium and Elemental Overload. Our next item is a shield with as much energy shield as we can possibly have on it. That alongside Life Regen Hunter mod or Energy Shield Regen Crusader mod if possible. Just make sure to have the 15% reduced mana reservation of socket spells to allow you to run the same aura configuration I have running over here. Anyway, next on the list we have a belt with increased energy shield recovery rate. That's mandatory. That's mostly due to the fact that this mod is an overall multiplier to any amount of energy shield you recover from any source, and thus you have probably guessed that you need it to sustain Righteous Fire. Aside from that, getting percentage increased attributes is the best way to boost our energy shield because it will increase your total maximum intelligence. From here, it's generic energy shield, mana, and resistance mods. Next, we have a ring with lots of defensive stats like flat energy shield, percentage increased maximum energy shield, mana, and other basic stats that you need like attributes and resistances. For our second ring, however, it's anything but simple. It's Chevron's Relevation. This unique ring gives us a huge amount of energy shield and energy shield regen, so long so it's placed in our right ring slot. The drawback? We cannot regenerate mana. We are going to go around this drawback by making it so that our skills are free to use. Scorching Ray will cost 3 mana give or take thanks to our Ascendancy, so crafting -3 mana cost for channeling skills on our first ring is good enough to make it so that Scorching Ray will not cost any mana. And for our move and skill cost, getting Replica Conqueror's Efficiency will seal the deal. Our next item is a pair of gloves with as much energy shield and intelligence as possible. From here, it's just resistances. Same thing applies to our boots. Just make sure that it has good movement speed roll before anything else. Lastly, for our amulet, it's a marble amulet with combined Crusader and Shaper influence. Crusader can roll up to 2.5 energy shield regeneration a second, and Shaper can roll percentage increase attributes and fire dot multi. Now once you are done crafting your amulet, don't forget to anoint it with Arsonist using your oils for increased life regeneration and fire damage multiplier overall. Alright, that was it for your items. What about gems that goes inside of them? For our main 6 link we have Righteous Fire, Awakened Burning Damage Support, Awakened Elemental Focus, Awakened Increased Area of Effect, Concentrated Effect, and Inspiration. Our next gem setup contains Scorching Ray, Infuse the Channeling, Elemental Focus, and Inspiration. This setup will generate inspiration charges for both itself and Righteous Fire. But hold on for a second. We cannot generate inspiration charges with skills that cost no mana, and if we spend mana, we won't be able to regenerate it back due to our unique ring. So how can we go around this problem? I had this idea of lowering the level of inspiration gem that is linked to my Scorching Ray down to level 10 specifically, so that now Scorching Ray will only cost 1 mana per cast. We have over 400 unreserved mana in this build. That should be enough for any map and any boss encounter based on my experience. However, if you happen to run out of mana, then you can quickly unequip and re-equip your Chevron's ring to refill your mana instantly. It's a pretty silly solution, but hey, it works. But now going back to other gem configurations, the next one contains Malevolence, level 21 Arrogance support, level 4 Enlighten, and level 1 Precision. This is your life reservation setup. For mana, you have Discipline, Purity of Fire, and level 21 Vitality. This setup goes in your shield for the extra 15% reduced reservation modifier. And that was basically it for your gem links. Now let's quickly talk about jewels. First, you need 1 energy from within. Place it in this specific socket to convert all nearby life nodes into pure energy shield. Next, we have Emperor's Mastery. This jewel is not required for the build. However, it will still provide you with lots of energy shield compared to any regular rare jewel, so try to get it if you can afford it. We also have 1 Replica Conqueror's Efficiency as we have mentioned before. Finally, we have a Watcher's Eye. This one must have 10% of mana gained as energy shield. From here you can upgrade into increased energy shield recovery rate while affected by discipline, or the cheaper alternative, which is increased recovery rate of life and energy shield while affected by malevolence. For your normal jewels, here is an example for a good in-game rare jewel. You should try to get energy shield first, and then burning damage, then fire damage, and then an attribute or resistance roll if you still need them. For bandits, you are going to help Oak for his 1% life regen and 2% fizz mitigation. And that was basically it for this build. So at the end, should you try it? Honestly, if you have lots of currency and love Righteous Fire, why not? However, if you are a casual player on a budget who is just looking for a good functional Righteous Fire build, then you should go with the life version instead. And that's basically the whole point of this video. If you guys have enjoyed it, then let me know what do you think, and maybe even like and subscribe for future build guides like this one. My name is Phoenix, and I will see you all in the next video.